Hi guys, welcome to the channel and myself Pranti Kumar. I am currently sailing as second engineer and today's video is all about Unclos and we'll be discussing about what Unclos is and how this Unclos is affecting the nations and how it is going to affect us as a mariner or a shippy. So let's dive into the video and let's see how this Unclos is going to work. So UNCLOS is nothing but United Nations Convention on Law of Seas. It is also known as Convention of Law of Seas or Treaty of Law of Seas. There are different names for it, whatever you call it. But it was basically being started because after the World War in 1945, US started to proclaim its continental shelf and they started to explore all the resources in their continental shelf. Seeing this, various other nations also have started to explore without any limits over the ocean bed. This has encouraged other nations also to exploit the ocean beds and other continental shelves as well. This has created a lot of dispute among the nations to make sure that all the nations get equal rights over the ocean beds. This UNCLOS has initially came up in 1959, but later on, UNCLOS 1 and UNCLOS 2 have been rejected because of various reasons. And now presently we are in UNCLOS 3, which have been adopted in 1982 and came into force in 1994. And total of 117 nations have adopted the UNCLOS and ratified it in 1994. And today, as of now, we have got 169 nations being member states being part of the UNCLOS along with the European Union. So totally combines up to 170 nations. UNCLOS will be giving rights and responsibility to the nations on the oceans. So under this UNCLOS, the oceans are divided into various territories starting from the baseline of the nation. So let us discuss into detail how this ocean is divided from baseline of the country into various territories. These territories are namely internal waters, territorial waters, contiguous zone, and exclusive economic zone. After that comes the high seas. So let's discuss about the various zones of waters which have been divided as per the UNCLOS. So starting with various zones, first of all we need to discuss about the baseline. There are two types of baselines for any coastal state or with respect to that for any country. So normally first one is called as a normal baseline and the other one is called as straight baseline. Normal baseline is an imaginary line which is drawn on the low water line of the coastal state, and a straight baseline is only to those countries which have got infringements or islands present near to the coast. So that we take the outermost point of that island and we draw an imaginary line around the coastal state, which is called as a straight baseline. From this baseline, there are various zones which are divided as per the distance. So starting from baseline, the waters which are present inside the coast are called as internal waters. And from the baseline, the waters which are extending 12 nautical miles away from the baseline into the ocean is known as territorial waters. And from territorial waters, 12 nautical miles away from the territorial waters is known as contiguous zone or contiguous waters. And this is around 24 nautical miles from the baseline. And after this comes the exclusive economic zone that extends up to 200 nautical miles from the baseline. These are the zones of interest for any coastal states. After that, which is high seas. So now let us see what this territorial water signifies for any coastal state. So territorial waters, in territorial waters, the coastal state exercise its complete sovereignty in it, and all the coastal states laws are impeccable or implies to the vessels which have caused any sort of pollution or any sort of crime within the territorial waters. Now comes the contiguous waters, that is 24 nautical miles from the baseline. In this contiguous waters, the coastal state can exercise its customs, immigrations, and other infringement or other sort of any sanitary rules, all these are applicable to the ships in this 24 nautical miles region. After this, after this 24 nautical miles region comes the exclusive economic zone, where the country is interested in exploring the natural resources, whether it is living or non-living, and they can explore the seabed as well for the oil or for any sort of minerals and resources. So each country has got these three zones in their coastal waters, so as to make sure that each country has rights for exploration and research in the ocean bed. After this comes the high seas, where all nations, ships as well as aircrafts can exercise freedom of navigation and scientific research and fishing. So these are mainly the top five zones which are included in the Unclos. And any ship which is passing through these waters, and especially through the territorial waters, is called as, this voyage is known as innocent passage or innocent voyage, which implies that the ship which is passing through the territorial waters of any coastal state must not make any sort of an issue regarding the peace of the country or like security and order of the country. So if there is any breach of security, peace or order of the country, then there can be criminal charges against the ship in this territorial region of the water. So apart from this zones which we have discussed, now we will be going into the flag state responsibility in making the ships seaworthy and making prevention of pollution and enhancing the safety of its ships as well as its coastal state. So there are two articles regarding this. One is Article 94 under Unclos, and the other one is Article 194. Article 94 mainly discusses about the flag state's responsibilities on maintaining the safety of ships at sea and as well as safety of its coastal state. So under 94, all the flag states need to maintain a registry of ships, all the ships which are flying its flag, and they need to ensure that all the ships are seaworthy by doing continuous regular surveys of the ship. Apart from that, they need to also make sure that the ships are technically sound in complying with the marine environmental protection regulations and conventions till date. These are all the responsibility of the flag state. And apart from that, there is also a provision where flag states can other coastal states or other nations can inspect the ships of different flags, and they can given deficiencies or inspection reports, upon which the flag state needs to investigate into the deficiencies and needs to take measures to rectify this sort of deficiencies. Also, there is also one more provision where in case of any incident, flag state is responsible for investigation of the incident and giving a report on it. And these are the mainly topics which have been discussed in the Article 94, which ensures the safety of the ship throughout its sea voyage or whenever it is in port also. So apart from that, now we will be discussing about Article 194, which is mainly emphasizing on marine environmental protection. Coastal state need to make sure that there won't be any sort of pollutions being emitted by the ships flying its flags or from the land. They need to take measures to make sure that the pollutions which have been generated by sea and land by air are limited and are being reduced over a period of time. This is how Article 194 and 94 are being used in making a better, safe and a much protected environment at sea. So I hope you understand most of the topics which are main topics which are present in the Unclos United Nations Convention on Law of Seas. So I hope that this video is being informative, and please, if you like it, please give a thumbs up. And if you want any more suggestions on these topics, you can comment in the comment sections as well, and feel free to contact me in the comments.